Let's talk about one of those acquisitions because AMD acquired ZT Systems last year. You may recall that we covered that on the rundown. And now they're going to be selling most of what they acquired to Sanmina. AMD states that this will help them manufacture more chips on US soil and will also help mitigate the impact of those pesky tariffs that we keep talking about. AMD didn't sell all of ZT Systems to Sanmina, but I have a question, Al. How does this help them save on tariffs?
I'm not really sure how this saves on tariffs. The plans to produce chips using the TSMC manufacturing facilities in the US aren't kind of closely linked to this, as far as I can tell. Maybe ZT Systems does manufacturing overseas, and therefore divesting of that is going to help AMD to be importing less systems. It is important to see that this divestment was planned from the very time that AMD purchased ZT Systems. It's important to see that this divestment was planned from the very time that AMD acquired ZT Systems. And it's the manufacturing part that has been sold on to Sanmina. The AI design piece is staying inside AMD, and that's what AMD actually wanted. They didn't want to be a manufacturer of systems, they're a manufacturer of chips. And so the design part is staying within AMD, and the actual manufacturing is the piece that's being moved on to Sanmina. The AI design is absolutely a critical part of AMD's future. We know that huge amounts of infrastructure are being purchased, and this infrastructure adoption is being driven by AI requirements, generative AI applications, and AMD wants a chunk of that. And they want a larger and larger chunk over time, obviously, in order to be more profitable. So having a design solution, a design practice around building infrastructure for AI seems like a very good thing for AMD to do. And Sanmina, with their part of the ZT Systems, the manufacturing part, they're a first partner for AMD. So it's not simply we're getting rid of the bits that we didn't want out of the business. We're also continuing to deliver some of that value through from the piece we're keeping to the piece we're divesting. And so it's a bit of a closer relationship then between AMD and Sanmina with ZT Systems. I think it's a good move for AMD not to be competing with its own customers in delivering these systems. That's the part that was a little puzzling at the acquisition time, but now it's become clear that it's the AI design piece that AMD wanted, and they had to get the whole business in order to actually have that part. 6 months later, they're now allowed to divest of that manufacturing side and stop competing with partners. Of course, now they've got another partner that is more equal than maybe some of the other partners, but that's how partnership works.